Sometimes you might have disempowering questions. You might have questions like, why me? Why does this suck so much? Why does this chick keep calling me? All of these different things. If you put there and say, today is the best day of my life ever. If you put there, the Lord is my shepherd. If you put there, I'm so grateful for existence. I'm grateful for peace. I'm grateful for prayer. I'm grateful for gratitude. I'm grateful for a nice, like, half-page newspaper article about what I'm working on. I'm grateful for the ideas and the confidence to be able to carry that through. But I'm telling you, the more that you spend your time in faith in Jesus Christ, the better your life will be. And it's just that simple. What's up, gang? Welcome to Legendary Excellence. Here today with my buddy
Lucas.
And we've had a really great day. We ended up hanging out this morning. It was funny because I was coming back from Watertown. I had some meetings out there. And on the way back, I was talking about how I was praying a little bit. And you basically walked in the house and were praying right away. You were preaching, which is a really nice thing. But it was funny because I was sitting there and I've got these assets. And it's the question of what you do with the assets. We're going to talk a little bit. I actually got in the newspaper about what I've been working on. But it's hard sometimes, Lucas, because I wonder what I'm doing with my life. And sometimes I wonder, like, I'm working really hard, but it's the path that I'm on. Mm-hmm. And you showed up, and it was funny because I was at a stop sign literally right outside of town, and I'm praying to God, and I get the answer, you're going to get talked to more when you get home. And this guy comes in. And why don't you jump into it? Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay. Well, I had sent him... Let me pull up the thing I sent.
Please.
So I sent him a picture of, like, I got a daily devotion. And I'll be honest, God was telling me that, like, I saw it. And this is speaking to Gary right here. I need to send it to him.
You sent it to me. That's a beautiful thing.
I sent it right away. And it says, when he had sent the multitudes away, he went on the mountain by himself to pray. Now, when evening came, he was alone there, but the boat was now in the middle of the sea, tossed by the waves. So this is Matthew, I think, 14, 22 to 36, Matthew 15, 1 to 9, and then Psalm 12, 1 to 8. Jesus told his disciples to go before him to the other side, and he wouldn't have said that if it wasn't going to happen. He's given him the vision. He's given him, this is what's going to happen. You're going to get to the other side. And he's in the storm right now.
I'm in the middle of the storm.
He's in the middle of the storm right now. And what is it? And again, Jesus said this is going to happen. And he wouldn't have said that if it wasn't going to happen. So a frightening storm arose. The disciples had no choice. They could either panic in fear, or they could keep the words of Jesus in their hearts and to say to each other, it's okay, guys, we're going to get to the other side. Jesus said so. Dear Christian, the world can't see those who love God, but he knows those who are his. See 2 Timothy 2:19. No matter what church we attend, we are all in the same boat. Grace of God has saved us. We are heading to the other side. Nothing can stop that. Nothing can stop that. Nothing can separate us from his great love. So when the storms come, they will come. Don't fret. Don't lose heart. Let your heart remain fixed. Say to yourself and others, it's okay, folks. We're going to make it to the other side. Jesus said so. Trust in his word. Here's a little prayer. Father, I made it through another day, trusting in your wonderful promises. Despite the storms, I have peace.
Amen.
Amen.
It's really nice that you sent that. I appreciate that. And so I walk in the house and I'm doing work because I'm trying to be able to get a couple things put together. And then you come over and you pretty much walk in and read us a little bit about what you were reading.
Okay. I was reading, what is it? Let me find it real quick. So, for the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling far from a country who called his own servants and delivered goods to them. And the one who gave 5 talents to the other and to another one, each according to his own ability, he immediately went out on a journey. Then he who had received the 5 talents went and traded them and made another 5 talents. And likewise, he who had received 2 gained 2 more also. But he who had received 1 went and dug the ground and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants came and settled accounts with them. So he who had received the 5 talents came and brought 5 other talents, saying, Lord, you delivered me 5 talents. Look, I had gained you 5 more talents besides them. His Lord said to him, Well done, and good faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things, and I will make you ruler over many things. Enter the joy of your Lord. He also, who had received 2 talents, came to the Lord. You delivered me 2 talents. Look, I have gained 2 more talents besides them. His Lord said to him, Well done, good faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things, and I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of the Lord. Then he who had received 1 talent came to the Lord and said, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you have not sown, gathering where you have not scattered seed. I was afraid, and went and hid your talent in the ground. Look there you have what is yours. But the Lord answered and said to him, You wicked and lazy servant, you knew that I reaped where I have not sown and gathered where I have not scattered seed. So you ought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and at my coming, and I would have received back my own with interest. Therefore the talent from him, and gave it to him who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. And cast the unprofitable servant into the outer darkness. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And the weeping and gnashing of teeth has been talked about multiple times. Yeah. So I guess, like, to break it down, the Lord is giving you gifts. The Lord is giving you this gospel, this good news. He is giving you, clothes, money. It could be anything. He's blessing you. And you're just taking. You're not, either saving people with the gospel, giving out the gospel, preaching the gospel, expanding what the Lord has invested.
Right.
Because that's what it is. It's an investment. It is an investment in And it's not by your good works that you will be saved, but your faith will make good works. And even if it's like the less of one of those, like he talks about this, the disciples are like, man, you have clothed us, you have fed us, you have housed us, and we haven't done that for you. And he's, even if you've done one of the less of one of those things, you're good with me?
Right.
You're good with me? And so if you hear the word, you don't have to go on the street preaching, but tell somebody.
Right.
Even if you don't have to be one of those wild Christians out on the street. God is good. You could be in a store working your job, and somebody asks, "Why are you so nice to me? Why are you so nice to me?" And you could preach to them. That's your moment. You could, if somebody's going through a rough time, you give them really good advice. This is really good advice. Where'd you get this from? It's God. It is God.
It's just so beautiful, people, because I got to emphasize that I was riding home questioning myself. I was riding home questioning what I'm doing. And having that question about, I got all these projects, I got all these things going on. Tell me what I'm supposed to do. And I come home and I have this. And it's so beautiful because it leads us to hear this beautiful newspaper. I don't know how many people still read newspapers, but we've got this beautiful newspaper here called the Watertown Current. And I was at the doctor. And here it says, South Dakota Co-op seeks funding to train for green energy projects. Now, it's not necessarily green energy projects, but I'll take what it is. It is like the projects that it's going towards are green energy, so it's not inaccurate. But it leads off. It's by Tucker Hermans from the Watertown Current. Gary Hudiburgh, the CEO of Dakota Cornerstone LLC, will seek funding from the state of South Dakota this week for the Dakota Bridge Co-op project set to help bolster tribal communities with skills and training needed to construct various renewable energy projects across the state.
Have you even told me about this yet? I don't think you've told me about this.
No, I mean it's. This
I'm
whole
learning
article,
about this.
This entire thing is about what I'm building,
Dude, that's so awesome.
and it's so.
This is a raw reaction. This is so raw right now. It's real. Dang, man.
And I've been in Pierre last week working on it, and I'm making calls this week, and probably next week I'll be out working on it, and I'm constantly working on it, and I keep having these calls with people, and it's like the size of the coalition grows. And it's funny because, like, you know, we have Sodak, which is like our nonprofit that's really focused on spreading the gospel. This isn't any gospel, but this is people that need opportunity. This is, I mean, I think about we talked a little bit tonight about different challenges that we've had. We both have had challenges. We've overcome our challenges. Jesus Christ has made our lives so much better. But sometimes people need to get to a point where it's like you have the job, you have the career, you have whatever it is. But when you're reading about the talents and burying the talents, because I have talents that I know will be worth more money in the future. And I've sold some Bitcoin, and I've sold some Ethereum, and I've sold some Chainlink, and I've done all that stuff, and I've sold a big mess of gold and silver. Okay? I still got a couple of things left. And it's that knowledge of the preciousness of the gift of life and the gift of salvation. And if we can build this,
Yeah.
and it's coming together.
And like another thing about for the atheist timing, right? About I am not the man I was now a week ago.
Right.
Jesus right now is working on me and radically changing my life as we speak.
Amen.
I am not the man I was a week ago. Yeah. And the timing of what he needed to hear and where it lined up with my faith right now and where I've read and what I'm doing and seeking.
Yeah.
Call it what you want. It is not. This is 90. This earth, if you look it up on Google, it is impossible for Earth, life, the stars, everything to come together like this. For us to be breathing, it is impossible. And you still want to believe in coincidence.
I think it's tough for people. Like, I remember being traumatized because I was an atheist for a long time. And I was really deeply traumatized. And I think that trauma makes it easy to deny. Because it's like, if God exists, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Why am I dealing with this?
Right.
And it's that piece of like, why is this happening? Why is that happening? Why is this the way it is? And I'm going to tell you when we look at the Bible, just turn to Malachi 3 verse 3 really quick. Because when we talk about in the Bible what it is that we're doing, how we're living, sometimes those trials are necessary. Sometimes those trials are necessary because it's like a video game where you got to level up the character a little bit. You got to get the character built up. You got to get the strength built up. You got to get the capability built up. And God in my life, those worst trials, those worst difficulties are the times when I really needed it. And it's tough because I've got buddies that are going through relationship stuff and they're going through this and they're going through that and they're working to figure out what their path is with it. And there's times where you go and it's difficult and it's like being in a broken record where you're in a rut and it's a challenge and it's repeating and it's repeating and repeating. But the thing is that by doing that, you get that strength. You get strengthened. It's the same way with steel. You temper the steel. And when we get to Malachi 3:3, we're going to talk a little bit about it. Because that refining process that we go through in our lives, it helps us to be able to build big things. It helps us to be able to accomplish something significant. We can be able to go do something really cool with our lives. We can do something really cool with our faith because we can sit there and we can have our retirement savings and we can decide, hey, I'm going all in.
3:3.
3:3. You want to read it?
This is also how new to this I am,
right,
and how quickly God's changed my life. I didn't know where to flip. The only notes I've taken so far are in Matthew. This, I don't know, it's a good example of how quickly
It's
can change.
It's a really positive. And think about it. Thank God that things do change. Thank God that we can change. We have
I
a heart
wouldn't
that
be
can
here right
change.
now. I would not be here right now.
Amen.
He will sit as a refiner and a purifier of silver. He will purify the sons of Levi and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer to the Lord an offering of righteousness.
That's exactly it, man. That's where we're at. It's like you think about your soul, right? If you just decide to follow Christ, it's a great thing, and I celebrate that. But if you make the bad choice, you make the bad choices for a long time, and then you get the choice, and you turn your life over to Christ, and you go through the sanctification process where you grow. There's this refining process. He talks about it as a refiner of gold and silver. And I don't know if you've ever seen a crucible where you're refining metal, but it's like a cup. It's usually made out of some sort of ceramic or whatever. And you know, when they refined silver back in the day, with silver it's tough because you can go too hot and you burn it. You go too little and you don't get all the crap out of it. And so God sitting there with us going like, okay, well, I'm going to put this in your life. I'm going to put that in your life. It's going to be difficult here. It's going to be difficult there. And then you get to this point where the person doing the refining can see their reflection in the silver. They know it's pure. They know it's good. Mm-hmm. And it's like that with our souls. He talks about being a refiner and purifier of silver, like the souls of the sons of Levi. In our heritage, it's that reality that we have to get stronger. To build this, the amount of faith it's taken me to get to this point. I haven't really worked since April. You know, I got 2 hours a month because I was on the board for an organization. But my costs of being on the board were way higher. But it's only through having the vision, having the faith, and having what Jesus Christ gives us. And knowing that he brings us where we're supposed to be. We walk through faith alone. And it's so humbling through that journey to think about where I was. Because I remember being really lost. I remember having a really hard time being really lost and being stuck in these questions, worrying about, you know, who thinks what and who does what and whatever it is. And at the end of the day, it's like Gideon, where you're out there, you're on the journey. The purpose is to be on the journey. The purpose is to go to do the things that you're supposed to do. I don't really have strong feelings anyway, either way about the green energy stuff. People like to say it's, oh, you're for it or you're against it. Man, if we're going to build stuff here, we might as well have our people build it. It doesn't make sense to have people from out of state come here. We don't have state income tax. The people don't understand the land either. I mean, if you don't understand ranching, if you don't understand farming and you leave gates open, it causes a ton of problems. Yeah. So I just view it as you're trying to solve problems that exist in the community. But it's a lot of fun. And it's a lot of fun because I got good buddies that when I come home and I'm getting... And it's tough because I was thinking about that exact verse. Because how does that exact verse... Because like people like to talk about coincidences or this or that. But how does that exact verse get on your heart at that time to read it?
Yeah.
And then you walk in the door and it's like, hey Gary, what's up? And then he's got the Bible out and he's preaching. And it's humbling because like I was sitting there in the doctor's office today and I'm like, wait, that's my name. Gary Hudiburgh, CEO of Dakota Cornerstone. Told the current he's aiming to structure the project's board of trustees similar to the way local farmers formed their energy co-ops in the 1930s when private utility companies refused to serve rural South Dakota. In the newspaper, dude.
In the newspaper.
It's good.
Yeah.
What are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for my relationship and walk with God. I'm grateful for basic needs. Amen. Very basic needs. And just being the discernment, the scales peeled off my eyes, the ears to hear. Just talking, the ability to talk to God.
Yep.
And just have a relationship with Him and just talk to Him whenever. It doesn't have to be in church. It doesn't have to be, you can be wherever you are. You could be talking to God.
Yep.
It doesn't need to be, oh, thy holy God, prayer, this and that. It could just be having a conversation. When I first started, I got all the religious parts down, but none of the relationship. And the relationship is the biggest thing. And you can't change people's hearts, but the Lord can. And the Lord changed my heart, and He convicted me on a lot of things. And I pray for the people closest to really find that. And everybody, man. I pray for these people to really find that.
It's a blessing to have it. That's the thing is We talk about challenges that we have. We talk about things that we do in our life. And it's really a blessing to be able to have purpose. To be able to think about your path as being what needed to happen. Think about how you go through these trials, these tribulations, these challenges. If you're going to be able to climb Mount Everest and you're sitting there and you're like, man, sun's going to come down soon. And you got to push and you got to take that risk to be able to accomplish the really big stuff.
Yeah.
And I think about that Bible verse talking about, if I bury it under the ground, what's the point?
Yeah.
If I share it, if I'm able to go help strengthen others, help build others up, and go through that walk. I mean, we talk about evangelism, and in a lot of ways, I think it's our actions are our strongest message. The words can be one thing, but it's your actions. It's like, do you really have faith? What does faith really mean to you? Because we can have this abstract, theoretical concept of faith, but it's what does it really mean? What's the letters on the print? What are you actually building? Because that's what can truly matter in what we build and what we do. And it's humbling because it can mean walking away from relationships, right? Like there can be relationships with organizations or people or whatever it is, and you can value those relationships very significantly. But sometimes you outgrow the container.
Yeah.
The relationship was good for this period of time. You hit a point where it's time to change. And it can be painful. I mean, I had friends texting me last night about stuff that I used to be involved in. And it sucks because I like them.
Mm-hmm.
They're people I like and respect, but at the same time, it's not my journey anymore. And it's something to remember is that people, every one of us is on our journey. Every one of us has our opportunities to go live our lives and do our things. And so we want to be able to do the best that we can in all we do.
Yeah.
So with that, you got anything you want to add?
Your word, if you speak the gospel, it will not go dormant into the earth. He spoke the Psalm 23 to me one day.
That's a good
And
one.
I was like, that is so good. He memorized the whole thing too.
You want it right now? The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You set a table for me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. When you write that down every day, multiple times a day, and if you go back in this podcast in Legendary Excellence, there's video of me doing that. I was working 12-hour days down in San Antonio. 12-hour days, dude. 12-hour days. And I was running crane, rigging, and doing the money stone thing, which only a couple of y'all know the money stone thing, but it's a fun time. But I'm down there and I'm doing the money stone thing and doing the crane and all this. And every day I'd go home and I'd write that down. And if you really, people will come to me and they'll be like, I'm suicidal, I'm caught up in lust, I'm caught up in addiction. There's no such, like at the end of the day, what it is our brain focuses on, and we get what we focus our brain on. You focus on your brain on the fact that the Lord is my shepherd and I shall not want. There's not a whole lot of room for anything else. There's not a whole lot of room for other stuff. And I understand it takes time for people to unwind their lives. I was over at Teen Challenge Dakotas earlier this week, which is a really cool organization. It's a faith-based recovery program. A lot of times for people caught up in addiction or caught up in law enforcement issues, stuff like that. But I'm telling you, the more that you spend your time in faith in Jesus Christ, the better your life will be. And it's just that simple. And it's having it memorized. Because you've asked me that many times, and I've just got it.
Yeah.
How long do you have it? You got it memorized?
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He anoints. See.
You're close.
See? I'm close.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
I guess that's going to be our challenge, is for you to get it so you got it memorized.
That'd be awesome.
That's our challenge for you. You need to get it so you got it memorized. The more that we put our time into this, because think about it. If everybody's got this like kind of running memory, right? Your brain's running. There's all sorts of different things going on. That running memory, sometimes you might have disempowering questions. You might have questions like, why me? Why does this suck so much? Why does this chick keep calling me? All of these different things. If you put there and say, today is the best day of my life ever. If you put there, the Lord is my shepherd. If you put there, I'm so grateful for existence. I'm grateful for peace. I'm grateful for prayer. I'm grateful for gratitude. I'm grateful for a nice, like, half-page newspaper article about what I'm working on. I'm grateful for the ideas and the confidence to be able to carry that through. I'm grateful for having the savings. Do you know how much I scrimped and saved to build that up?
Yeah. A lot?
6 years.
Oh my
6 years
goodness.
of savings. It's 6 years of savings. And I'd be out there at power plants and I would be buying cryptocurrency. I'd be buying gold and silver. I'd be doing this on a consistent basis.
Gold is up too.
It's way up. And I'm going to tell you for certain,
Gold is up.
it's way up more.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's way up more. And it's going to go way up more. But this is more important. This is the thing. This frees people. Like, this frees people who don't have opportunity right now.
Oh, another one. You think of the fisherman that walks in the shop and he sells everything.
Right.
He sells everything because he finds this beautiful pearl, and that beautiful pearl is the vision.
But that's where we're at right now, is trying to figure this part out.
It's not if, it's when.
Because the problem is, and it's not even a problem, the faith element is there needs to be money to pay for this. And Gary's getting to the point where it's not going to be, there's not going to be a whole lot left in the chest to pay for it. But it's those moments where it's, I don't know, last year I went skiing a lot and I had a really good time. And this year I went skiing a little bit, I had a really good time. But now we're at the point where it's like adult Gary. We talk about putting away like the child stuff earlier. Yeah. You know, we're talking about how we grow up and become men, how we do that. This is one of those areas where I think about legacy. Think about what I want the future to look like, what for him to grow up in, for his kids to grow up in. You know, the more that we focus on that stuff, the more we have a stronger, better world. The more that we live as brothers and sisters with people, we have a stronger, better world. The more that we find ways without conflict. We're talking about people being aggressive to us and how we deal with that. You know, people saying, oh, you caused this or you caused that. Well, at the end of the day, if we don't react, it's kind of like a dog and a squeaky toy. The dog will play with the squeaky toy so long as it squeaks and reacts. Second you stop reacting, the game's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
So it's important to do that. You got more you want to add?
Is there any more I could preach about? This is honestly another really good verse for peace. All things have been delivered to me by my Father, and no one knows the Son except the Father, nor does anyone know the Father except the Son, and no one whom the Son wills to reveal him. Wait, that's not it, but come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest in your souls. My yoke is easy, my burden is light. That was speaking to me one day. I was taking a walk, and I prayed for peace. And then I grab my Bible. I just want to make it very clear, I'm inconsistent with the Bible. I'm like so inconsistent, it's not even funny. This week has really changed for me on that.
Of course.
And so I sit down and like I open up my Bible, and I was at the point of Matthew where it's just talking about the Pharisees a lot. I'm like, I gotta know how to read that. So the wind blows the pages of my Bible and comes to this verse, and I've already read it before.
Right.
But I just had prayed for peace, and it blows open to this, and I look straight down at it, and there it is. And I'm like, I gotta recite that to myself. Like,
it's a really important verse when you think about, if you think about who you're supposed to be talking to about Jesus. Gentle and lowly. There's a really great book by Dane Ortland called Gentle and Lowly that talks, and it really changed my view about Christianity. Like fundamentally changed my view about Christianity, because it was such a powerful book, and I got it from a preacher over at Snow Basin Resort out in Utah, because I went to a ski area. But it's awesome that you're bringing it up.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing. It's so powerful to get the right message at the right time, and I hope for you, today's been the right message at the right time. What's the jump of faith that you can take? Who are you where you say, oh, I'm this, or oh, I'm that, I can't do this, I can't do that, when we all know You can. We know that you can live with legendary excellence. I know that many of you watching this are legendary excellence. And you can choose to be legendary excellence and to live on this path of legendary excellence. So with that, you got any last words?
The Lord has prepared a seat for you in heaven. He's prepared a table for you. He invites you into heaven. Invite him into your heart. Invite him into your heart right now. Invite him to walk with you today. You need him. Tell him, say, Lord, I need you today. You can't walk through life by yourself. You need the Lord. And center your day around him. I'm learning about this week, man.
You're doing a great job. It makes me so happy. It's nice having a preacher next door. Keeps me motivated. With that, God bless you. Live with legendary excellence. Good?
Good.
All right. Next time.